So as far as the topic goes today, why don't we talk about the best way to get contacts? So would that be what you were mentioning, Roberta? Or is that what you're looking for?
Yes, specifically from, let's say, LinkedIn, when a social media platform can actually lock you out, as LinkedIn did with me, right? They did that to me. They
Okay.
took my page away. I have no access to that page any longer.
Mhm.
But all of my contacts, over 500 contacts, they are all gone. So I didn't think about having their email address or any type of contact information. I rely solely on LinkedIn to connect me with my connections. So I would like to know what strategy are you using to capture your contacts information?
Okay. Well, there's a couple things. It's a little bit like closing the door after the horses got out right now for you, Ken. But you can download all your connections or contacts on LinkedIn. Okay. You can literally go in and download those. I'm not going to go through that how to right now because we'll just talk about getting contacts, but there's a way you can do that. Um, so I think what we need to talk about as a topic would be, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, how you are going to, I guess, retain those contacts or get new contacts that you can download. So Janine, you had your hand up first, I think. Do you want to chime in on this?
Yes, thank you very much. What I wanted to chime in on, this has happened to many of my clients. I've put in the chat the link. It's called Janine, How Do I? And you can go there and you'll see all these videos. So first of all, they're very short videos. They're less than 10 minutes. They walk you through how to download your contacts from Facebook and LinkedIn. The way I would build out your contact list right now, though, since you only have 4 contacts and that has come up, is to put your LinkedIn link into the chat. We all know you. We will all go on and connect with you, and you'll start from ground zero, but you will start from ground zero with people who know you as opposed to people who are just trying to sell you. That would be how I would build this out slowly over time. Once a month, you get you or your VA to download your contacts so you won't lose them again, and you put them in a CSV file, and then you can start connecting with them using your master contact sheet.
Yeah, that's a good idea. The other thing I want to emphasize too is because everything has become so spammy. I don't care whether it's LinkedIn, you pick your favorite social platform. Everybody's out there selling. Okay, everybody's trying to get your attention. They're not worried about you. They're worried about them. Okay, it's the old whiff 'em thing, right? And so they're just trying to get it. So a name is just a name. It's not. I mean, it's not really a connection. The only ones that I really save are the ones that I've actually connected with. Those are the people that I feel important. All the rest of them to me is just names. It's like riding down a highway looking at a billboard. It doesn't mean a hill of beans to me. You don't need a lot of connections to build even a larger network if you are in it to help them. If you're in it to help your connections, they will get to know, like, and trust you, and they will be happy to share other people that are quality people of like mind with you. So I would concentrate on that instead of the numbers. Now, the only thing about LinkedIn is people say, oh, I'm a lion. Okay, there. I guess that means I've got over what? I don't remember how many people, but I've got a lot of people. So what? I've got over 3,000 Facebook friends that I don't know. How can they be my friends? So, how much does it really mean? So I would concentrate more on the quality of the connection and the contact than the number of them. But that's just me. Anissa.
So what I was going to say is, what are you offering as an ICO, an irresistible complimentary offer? What is your lead magnet? What do you have a PDF or a quiz or something that you can offer for free in exchange for their contact information? And then you would put them onto your email list because it would automatically happen. And you can start emailing them and, creating that relationship. The beauty of it is that it's at your website. And so if somebody finds you from CEO, SEO, excuse me, and gets to your website, they can still take part in this information exchange, as well as you offering it up to people on LinkedIn or any of your other socials.
Yep, that's very good. Yeah, it's I call it selling like a drug dealer. Okay, you're giving them something before you ask for something. But it is a good way to collect good names, and you find out that they're truly interested in what you're doing, or if that you're giving away. So you're kind of you're targeting your market more, because names are just names, as I said before, and I agree with you in this. If you have something of quality that you can give away that will help make them want to connect with you, that is, you're weeding out, you got to walk through a lot of weeds to get the flowers. So this is one way to do that, to get to the flowers quicker. Roberta, are we on the same track as to what you're talking about? Or are you talking about trying to retrieve the old ones that you had?
No, I'm with you. I'm on the same track. I do not necessarily want to go back and retrieve the old ones, and that's, you just caught me in my thought when I'm looking at all of the LinkedIn links in the message box. So my strategy is to connect with individuals who I can actually who aligns with what I have to offer.
Right.
I want what they have to offer. So I'm thinking, as Angie mentioned, hey, Roberta, drop your new LinkedIn. I'm like, well, do I want to connect with everyone here on LinkedIn? I love you all, right? I love all of you. So you're like my Call Lukey's family here. But what I'm saying is that, do I really want to connect with you on LinkedIn? Would that be strategic? So I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, before I go to Angie and Carolyn, I cover this in a workshop that I did on networking. There's a lot of times you're going to see somebody, you say, well, I don't want to connect with them. They're not in my, my realm of business. I don't, he's a janitor. I mean, what am I going to do with the janitor, right? You don't know that the janitor isn't working for a CEO of a company that needs what you have. So I always talk to everyone. Okay. I try to speak to everyone and give everybody the same opportunity, because I have been fooled so many times by prejudging. Someone said, well, all right, I'm going to go through it. They want to meet with me. Let's do this. And then I am amazed. I'm saying, oh my gosh, am I glad I didn't waste that one. That one was so good, because in networking, it's not about you selling the person you're talking to. It's about you finding out more about them and who they know, and so that's why I try to emphasize on people. I wouldn't even do the 15-second introductions, because I guarantee you, nobody cares what we do. They care what they do. Okay. And so, if you're trying to, well, and I don't mean that totally, but what I'm saying is, for the most part, people don't go to networking meetings to buy something. They go there to sell something. So if you got everybody going there to sell something and nobody going there to buy anything, why are you all trying to sell each other? So have a true interest in the people, find out what they know, who they know that might align with what you need. And that's how you start helping each other and start building know, like, and trust. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Angie.
Yeah, so one of the things I do occasionally, Roberta, is outside downloading the contacts, since it doesn't give me their email, I will run like a masterclass or a challenge or something that requires a registration with their email. And that will bring them in. So like right now I'm doing my Find Your Hidden 10K challenge for free, which is something I know my audience really wants right now with back to school season. And it's something that they're highly likely to share with those that they know who could also possibly use that to help me grow my information faster. So what's something like that that you could do in the event space? Or maybe is there somebody that you can feature or something like that to help get that process going a little bit quicker?
Okay. We thought you left the room.
No, I'm looking for a pen. I had to write it on my whiteboard.
Okay, well, good. No, that's fine. Okay, Louise, I think you were up next. I can't keep track of who raised who.
It was Carolyn, but I'll go. You were talking in general about meeting people and connecting with that person and only connecting but LinkedIn is actually about the numbers. You want as many numbers as possible because when you post, then LinkedIn's algorithms will send it off to the people in the world, and then she'll get more traction. It isn't about individual connections.
You know what? You're absolutely right. On some of these platforms, it is about the numbers. Okay. But as far as you personally, the ones that are going to mean something to you are the ones you identify with. But no, she's absolutely right. I mean, that's why we do the videos for the partners, and we post them twice a month on all of our platforms, because between all of the partners, we've got thousands of eyeballs out there because of the connections we all have. So I digress. Louise, you're absolutely right. On LinkedIn, it is about the numbers, but the ones that are going to mean something to you are the people you connect with. So I guess that's what I should clarify. Okay, Carolyn.
Kind of what you were saying, but to your point, and for Roberta and everyone, give us a category. Do you want to speak to people that are doing nonprofit events or event planners, that we can go ahead and start connecting you with the people that we know that do those things. And another great tip I learned from a friend, because she got locked out of her Facebook group, is she created herself another account and made herself an admin twice. So she couldn't be locked out. If one account gets frozen, she's got the one with her middle name that she can still manage her. She has thousands of people. She's a photographer. And My Pocket Pics on Facebook has so much content. She's like, I can't get to it. I can't help people that are putting questions. So that's how she rectified that.
Okay. All right. And if you need clarification on any of this, have a one-to-one with the person to clarify it. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for. So, talk to anybody and everybody in the room. Bill?
Yeah, I was going to say just a couple of quick thoughts. There's an old expression that says, never plant your seeds on rented soil. And I hate to say it, but you don't own LinkedIn, and that's where we can get into trouble. Same thing with Facebook or any other major platform. So be mindful that as soon as you can, get those people you want off, keep them, as Janine was saying, in a CVS file or a spreadsheet or a CRM of some kind. So that's pretty important. The other thing I was going to suggest is, and I've seen this happen with a couple of people. In fact, anybody who wants to do it, let me know. Get a couple of individuals in this room right now and say, look, when I post that I've got a new item or article or whatever, can I notify you, and will you repost it? And I'll do the same for you. So it's a reciprocity. But if you had 10 people who agreed that whenever you post something, that Roberta, you are going to have those people share with their network, and you do the same when they post something, you'll be amazed at how fast your exposure and your capturing of interested people in whatever you're offering may be. And be sure you have a way to capture that information. Just putting it out there for the good of the order may make you feel warm and fuzzy, but that's like getting wet in a dark wool suit. You feel warm and fuzzy, but nobody notices. So have a capture page, and you can develop those fairly easily.
Yeah, and Angie, you're talking about promoting an event, right? Well, as an I Refuse to Fail partner, if you want to do a little video or something like that, we will put that on all our LinkedIn pages, okay? And until your event comes up. So once again, you're going to get eyeballs on that, right? So as a partner, you get to do that, okay? All right. So Pierre.
I was just curious, Roberta, did LinkedIn tell you why they froze or got rid of your original account?
Okay, since you ask, so what I did was I hired a VA to go into my LinkedIn account to revive my contacts. I wanted to reconnect with individuals, but there were so many. There were so many people on my contact list that I just didn't have the time really to do it. So I wanted to, again, re-engage with individuals. So I hired the VA to go in and say, hey, for example, hey, Carl, we are connected. We haven't communicated in a while. I would like to reconnect. So after that took place, LinkedIn shut me down. I'm guessing maybe someone new logged into my account and they didn't know, which I believe they should have asked me and say, hey, do you know what's going on with your account? But they didn't do that. So when they asked me to provide my ID, a state ID to them, I refused to do it. And the reason why is because it didn't make any sense to me. Because when I opened up that account, I did not open it with showing them a state ID. So
Right.
me showing you a state ID, how do you really know it's me? And I don't like that type of ownership and
Yeah.
where they were coming from with it. So I just opt out. I decided to return to LinkedIn because lately people have been saying, hey, Roberta, can I find you on LinkedIn? Can I find you on LinkedIn? I'm like, okay, I'll go back on LinkedIn. So, so that's the answer to that. And I do have a question and I can wait, Carl, because I have my hands up. I can ask the question later.
Okay, well, that's fine. All right, so is it related to the same subject?
Not to the question, but the same subject, absolutely, yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and ask it.
Okay, so actually to just hit on the point, reposting that Bill mentioned, that's what it was. Reposting someone else content, and I'm asking, please share with me, and this, I'm being very humble here, and not standoffish. I want to learn. So reposting someone else content that has nothing to do with my target audience, it might be a little bit confusing and saying, hey, why am I coming to your page if you are sharing something with me that has nothing to do with something that can benefit my business? I had this conversation with Carl before as well. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of Bridget Hatchison. She is on LinkedIn and she has over 1 million followers, and LinkedIn opened up the room for her to do this, right? But she
For
always
close personal friends? A million
Huh?
close, are those close personal friends of hers?
No, these are
I'm
over
being a
1 million.
jackass.
Right. I get it.
Right,
But
okay, there you go.
but here's the thing, Bill. She
That's
only
my job, Bill.
she only
Sorry, Jeff, I should have.
she only posts about what her book is about, what her interest is, and she only comment on those posts. And I think that helped her to boost higher. She defined herself within the industry. This is who she is. So I don't know how you feel about sharing other content that doesn't relate to your personal message or brand. If someone can please enlighten me, I would appreciate that.
Can I
Somebody-
make just a real quick comment?
Yeah.
I'll go back to what Carl said. You don't know who's looking at my feed when I post or I share your content. It
Exactly.
might be somebody who goes, oh my God, I've been looking for that kind of information. You don't know. And there's nothing wrong with sharing. I mean, it's like a fire hose anyways, if you turn your back for a minute, you've missed 50, pieces in the feed. So I don't see anything at risk if you do it. And I don't see anything you stand to lose if you don't. So you might as well give it a shot.
I've got another probably poor analogy, but it's an analogy. When somebody puts information on a billboard on a highway, they're not targeting certain people driving down that highway. They're putting it on the highway because somebody might be driving down there that doesn't need an attorney right now. Okay. But the attorney's got there, but they say, oh my gosh, my brother needs an attorney. I gotta tell and they didn't need it. Right. So I don't know if that's a good analogy, but my point is you don't know who people know. And that's why you don't want to, it's what's it going to hurt if they don't want to look at it? They're not going to look at it.
Mhm.
Okay, I mean, they're just going to pass it by. It's not going to make the person who owns that particular LinkedIn page look bad. Now, if that's all they did every day, all day long, it might be a little bit of a negative vibe. But I don't think anybody's doing that all day long. Now, when we post I do an interview with the I Refuse to Fail partners. And they talk about them. Okay, we talk about what they do, and then all the other partners post it on their LinkedIn twice a month. So it literally gets thousands of eyeballs. We know that not everybody that goes on there is looking at each one of those videos. But we also know at some point somebody's going to say, I need to check out what that is, and then they're going to, check it out, and they're going to see that what Angie does or what Bill does or, whoever. So I think there's a lot of value to it. It's it's kind of like advertising. You can't advertise one time and expect to make money, which unfortunately a lot of people think if you put out a dollar, you should at least get $1.25 back. It doesn't work that way. So you have to constantly put your image out there. It's good branding. So Roberta, honestly feel that you can post other people's information and it's fine. Okay. As long as you believe in that person. I mean, you don't want to do it just for the sake of posting it. Angie?
Yeah, I just want to say I've gotten the best referrals from after 4 or 5 conversations. So like,
Yeah,
I'll just use like running into this group, for example. I think I was on a Smart Connect. I think I connected with Carl, who brought me to this group, who connected me with Bill, who gave me the idea for my book. So that was like 4 conversations deep to get to an idea that was gold. And
Yep.
so that is why my mantra is like, I never want to turn down a conversation, because the conversation I might turn down may be the one that's going to propel my business the furthest, the fastest.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, and yes, and what I'm thinking is that it could come off like I'm leaving people behind, or we're not all in this together. Like, yes, I get it, we're all in this together. But what I'm thinking about, my mind is always on sponsorship being in front of pure demographic. It's not advertising. Like, that's what that young lady did. She was in front of her pure demographic. So my question now is, Carl, if we know Carl as the marketing person, so we are coming here because we are coming here to network, and we know Carl is the marketing person. But let's say we come in one day and then Carl is just talking about automobile. Like, that's this whole thing is about automobile. Or at the next event, are we really going to put this on our calendar and say, okay, I'm going to show up next at the next event? Like, for me, I'm like, I get confused. It's like, am I coming here for marketing, or am I coming here for automobile? And then the next one, are we going to talk about cats and dogs? Like, how does this thing work?
Okay, I know I think I know what you're trying to get at. Well, number one, maybe the example is not the greatest because I don't talk about any one thing. Okay, we're here to talk about what if we have a new person, or I have no idea what they do. Okay, let's say they're an automobile salesperson. We're going to talk to them about automobile sales. We're going to find out about it. It doesn't matter. Okay, so when you come to my event, that's what it is. But there are events that are going to be about automobiles. Okay, and if they're not talking about automobiles, yeah, I don't know if I want to go back there because I'm interested in automobiles. All right, so I understand what you're talking about, because you're going to have people come and talk. They already know there's a preconceived idea that we're going to talk about the latest automobiles today. And if they start talking about pizza, then it's like, why did I show up? Right? Unless it's eating a pizza in an automobile. But I get what you're saying. But it's a little bit different when you are using a networking platform like maybe LinkedIn, or or Alignable, I guess, or whatever platform, Connections Directory, whatever kind of a platform you're doing, because then it's kind of like everybody is helping everybody with everything they do, not just one thing. I don't think anybody goes to LinkedIn just to find out about your events. Okay, it depends on the algorithms and how they get to you. If somebody else told them about you that was on one about automobiles, and they said, hey, yeah, you're having an event about automobiles. I know somebody that can help you out with that. Go over to the LinkedIn and see Roberta. Okay. And they're not talking about automobiles, but they're talking about events, which was related to what they did. So I got to swing back to, it's a different thought process. It's not just, if you're doing you've done a podcast, right, Roberta? Okay. Well, people go there for that specific reason about what you're doing. They're not going there about automobiles. So yeah, it would make no sense for anybody to be talking about anything else other than automobiles. Okay. So you follow what I'm saying? It's almost like what I tell people in networking. You don't need to promote yourself. We're not here to promote ourselves. We're not here to talk about us selling automobiles. We're here to find out what you do to see if we can help you. And that's what we do. So we're not here to come in and say, hey, I'm Carl Lucci, and I can tell you everything you need to know about business. And you need to connect with me because I'm going to straighten your ass out. Okay. On this, that's not what we're here for. We're here to find out what you do and find out what you do to see if we can help you to gain know, like, and trust, because then you might know somebody who needs their ass straightened out, So that's, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but anyway, Anissa.
When you get the opportunity to repost content, generally, whichever platform it is, allows you to write text above it. And this is where you can really couch it. You can really say, I thought maybe some of you might find this of interest. This is my friend Carolyn, and she's having an event, and I wanted to, help promote it for her. Maybe you might find this of interest or know someone who does.
Exactly.
It shows that you're being of service. It may not be from you directly. However, it shows you of being of service, offering something for no other reason than you're just offering it. And, we need more people like that in the world, don't we?
Exactly. And that's kind of what we're trying to do here, which that was a good comment, Anissa, because then what it does, Roberta, is that if you're doing it or it's being done for you, that makes that person really look good. Wow, that person's really a networker. I wonder if they would do that for me. I might want to connect with that person. Okay. So you start building the know, like, and trust, which is, I think people have gotten away from the aspect of networking properly, and they treat it more like a trade show as a place to go and sell what they have. And that's not what we're here for. Okay. In my estimation, that's my opinion on networking. If you think it's about about selling stuff, I just say, get a booth at a trade show, put a sign up, stop here, buy one. So, all right. So that was pretty interesting conversation. I appreciate that, Roberta. We haven't talked about that before. So
Carl, can I add something real quick?
Absolutely.
Roberta, I noticed that on your website, you don't have your LinkedIn link over there. I might suggest you to look that. It's you got to utilize your website at the most if you are trying to grow your LinkedIn. That's a possibility over there that you need to explore.
Yep. And Roberta and I have a one-to-one coming up. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. So, okay, good. All right. Thanks, Ricardo. All right. So I will stop the recording.